Think about like a secret wisdom, maybe.
Yeah.
Something passed down, not in, secret vaults, but just in everyday choices, generation after generation.
Right. A kind of practical knowledge.
Exactly. And this wisdom, well, it's often credited with building really strong communities and helping people create wealth that actually lasts. So today we're looking into what some people call time-tested Jewish money secrets. These are principles that seem to have guided many towards, well, success and a strong sense of community for like centuries.
It is interesting, isn't it, how these ideas, while maybe rooted in a specific tradition, often tap into, universal principles, smart financial habits, focusing on community well-being, things we can all probably learn from.
Totally.
Our discussion today is inspired by the book, The 12 Timeless Jewish Money Secrets. We'll explore these sort of foundational ideas for building prosperity, looking at things like faith, values, mindset.
Generosity, planning, networking.
Right, all of it. Balance, resilience, and then the idea of legacy, too.
Yeah. And just to be clear, we're not searching for some like hidden magic formula here.
No get-rich-quick schemes.
Definitely not. It's more about examining practical strategies for building prosperity that lasts. Ideas based on centuries of real-world experience.
And look, if you're listening right now and maybe feeling squeezed by debt or just overwhelmed by finances.
Which many people are.
Absolutely. Please know you're definitely not alone in that. And hopefully this discussion offers some, solid, time-tested wisdom, maybe a fresh perspective.
It does make you wonder, though, can these, like, really old ideas still work in our, super modern financial world?
Well, the book suggests yes, because at the heart of it all, human values, community strength. These things are still incredibly relevant, maybe even more relevant now, regardless of tech or the economy.
Okay, let's dig into that first part then. Foundations of prosperity, faith, values, and history.
The bedrock.
Yeah, the core idea seems to be that for financial success to really stick, it needs a solid base. Principles that have, proven themselves over time.
It's really noticeable how much weight is put on having a kind of moral compass for your money decisions. It's not just about maximizing profit, but about the principles guiding how you earn it, how you use it.
The book shares this story about David from Newark. He was facing a, $5,000 monthly deficit. That's a big hole.
Huge pressure.
Right. And what apparently turned it around wasn't some lottery win, but reconnecting with his heritage. He remembered his grandmother always stressing values in every money choice.
Interesting.
And that shift, just thinking differently, helped him go from that deficit to actually saving. And he paid off all his debt in under 2 years. No fancy financial advisor involved.
David's story, if you think about it, really shows the power of linking your finances to something bigger. A purpose, a sense of responsibility. Tradition gave him that structure.
Absolutely. And that leads to our first kind of actionable step for you listening. Try this for just 1 month. Track every single expense.
Every coffee.
Yep, even the small stuff. Then look at each one and ask honestly, does this purchase align with my values, my long-term goals? It's not about, becoming a total miser.
Right, not about deprivation.
No, it's about making sure your money's actually working for what matters to you.
And just that act of paying close attention, it often shows us where our money's going versus where we think it should be going. The gaps can be surprising.
Okay, another idea the book brings up is setting aside 10% of any income you get. Call it a saving seed.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, as soon as the money comes in, boom, 10% goes to a separate account. Might seem small at first, but it builds up, creates that safety net for, unexpected stuff or maybe an investment opportunity later.
It's that consistent habit, isn't it? Saving a piece, no matter how small, it builds discipline, delayed gratification. Crucial stuff for long-term security.
Then there's this principle called mishpat.
Mishpat.
It represents fairness, accountability, balanced decisions, and it's not just a lofty ideal, it's presented as really practical. Well, it encourages you to be a sharp negotiator. Yeah. To really scrutinize contracts, insist on fairness in deals, basically protect yourself from getting taken advantage of.
So applying mishpat means being diligent, doing your homework. It's a way to avoid financial traps. That makes sense.
And one more practical step here. Keep a record. Income, expenses, savings. Use a spreadsheet, a notebook, whatever works.
Just track it.
Exactly. The book says this helped David see exactly where he was overspending, find those leaks, and redirect the money. You might find small efficiencies you never noticed before.
That regular tracking gives you crucial feedback. You see the results of your choices, good or bad, and can adjust. It's empowering.
So the big takeaway from this first section is these aren't just like historical anecdotes. They're practical principles you can use now to build a more stable, fair, and genuinely prosperous life.
Precisely. That values-based approach gives you an ethical framework and the history. Well, it shows these ideas have weathered all sorts of economic storms. There's some reassurance in that.
Okay, let's shift gears. Chapter 2, the wealth mindset, psychology, and belief systems.
The inner game of money.
Totally. The main idea here is that reprogramming how you think, how you talk to yourself about money is absolutely key to actually building wealth.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How much our thoughts and feelings about money either propel us forward or just hold us back.
Yeah, the book directly addresses those common negative beliefs. Wealth is only for certain people, or no matter how hard I work, I'll never get ahead.
Limiting beliefs.
Right. And it reframes money as a tool, a means to an end, not the ultimate prize itself.
That shift is so critical. Seeing money as a tool changes everything. You stop just chasing accumulation and start thinking, how can I use this to build a life I value?
We hear about David again. He was really struggling with self-doubt, buried in debt, feeling kind of stuck.
Yeah.
But he started to see every dollar differently, as potential for change. He got meticulous about tracking everything, even the small stuff, cut back where he could, and channeled that money to his debt.
And the result?
Within a year, he cut his debt by 40%. That's huge. And that victory really boosted his confidence.
See, David's story shows the power of taking control through those small, consistent actions. That 40% wasn't magic, it was mindset leading to focused action.
So the first action step for you here is challenge your own limiting beliefs. Ask yourself, what if? What if I really believed every dollar I saved or invested was a seed for my future?
Just asking what if can start to break down those old negative patterns about what's possible for you financially.
The book suggests maybe setting aside just a small amount each week.
Yeah.
Maybe $20, even $10, and write it down. See it accumulate.
Right.
The amount isn't the main point. It's building the habit and the belief that you can manage money effectively.
It reinforces that progress, not perfection, is the goal. Small wins build momentum, build confidence.
Another technique. Replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations. Instead of "I'll always struggle," try "Every financial decision I make brings me closer to my goals." Using these consistently can subtly shift your decision-making. Maybe make you pause before an impulse buy.
Affirmations work like a counter-narrative to that critical inner voice, right? Gradually rewiring your subconscious to support your goals.
And there's a simple rule introduced. Save at least 10% of every $100 you earn. Super straightforward. No complex spreadsheets needed initially.
Easy to grasp.
And you can automate it. Set up transfers on payday. Make it happen without thinking.
Automating savings is powerful. It takes the emotion out, makes saving a non-negotiable habit.
We also hear about Sarah. Working 2 jobs, felt like she was barely getting by.
Sounds familiar for many.
Yeah. But by tracking her money and, importantly, adopting the mindset that she deserved a secure future, she built a $3,000 emergency fund in 6 months.
Wow, how?
She actively looked for cheaper alternative, negotiated bills, even started a small side hustle.
That mindset shift unlocked her resourcefulness. She found ways to save more and earn more.
And the last action step from this mindset chapter: start a money journal. Every day, jot down one financial decision you made that day, however small, that aligns with your goals.
Like a gratitude journal, but for money decisions.
Kind of. It becomes this tangible record of your progress, reinforcing those positive choices.
The money journal sounds like a great way to make those positive behaviors stick. Concrete reinforcement.
So the big message here, your financial mindset isn't fixed. It gets stronger with practice, and you absolutely have the power to change your financial story through these deliberate actions.
Yeah, ultimately it's about realizing you're the driver, not just a passenger, in your financial life. You shape your future with your thoughts and actions.
Okay, let's move into the third area. The power of tzedakah, generosity, as a wealth-building tool.
Tzedakah. Charity, righteous giving. Interesting framing it as wealth building.
Right. The idea is that making generosity a regular practice can actually transform your overall financial well-being. It's not just about giving away money.
It's an intriguing perspective that generosity isn't just, say, a moral obligation, but might have tangible benefits too for you and the community.
The book suggests we reframe charity. Don't just see it as giving away surplus, but as a smart investment, an investment in relationships, in trust, in a thriving future for everyone.
That shifts it from feeling like an obligation to recognizing how interconnected we all are. My well-being is tied to the community's health.
We hear from David again, the accountant. He was initially skeptical,
Understandable.
but he started setting aside just 1% of his income, about $100 a month, for tzedakah. And he noticed his money anxiety actually decreased.
Really? Decreased.
Yeah, and his professional network grew, which led to a job referral and a 15% salary bump.
Wow. Okay, that's one person's story, but it suggests generosity can sometimes ripple outwards in unexpected positive ways.
So the first practical step here, earmark a small percentage of your income for tzedakah. Start small, whatever feels comfortable. And track, see where it goes, how it helps.
That intentional allocation can foster more of an abundance mindset, maybe, rather than feeling like you're losing something. Scarcity versus abundance.
And to show the impact, the book breaks it down. 1% of a $3,000 monthly income is $30. That's $360 a year. Enough to provide meals, support local programs.
Makes it concrete.
Right. It helps shift your thinking from, I'm giving away $30 to, my $30 is achieving this tangible good.
Seeing that real-world impact must be a powerful motivator to keep it up.
Sarah, the one working 2 jobs, she found this too. Her $20 monthly donation made her more mindful of her own spending.
How so?
It forced her to prioritize, cut unnecessary costs elsewhere, and ultimately that freed up money to tackle her student debt and build savings. Giving became a catalyst for smarter money management overall.
Interesting. So the act of giving encouraged more responsible financial behavior in other parts of her life, a positive feedback loop.
And crucially, the book stresses, generosity isn't just about cash.
Right. Time, skills.
Exactly. Volunteering your time, sharing expertise, helping a neighbor, those are incredibly valuable contributions too.
That broad definition is important. It means everyone has something valuable to offer, regardless of their bank balance.
The book talks about a ripple effect. When you extend help, in whatever form, it encourages others, strengthens the whole community fabric.
It underlines that interconnectedness again. Individual acts contribute to the collective well-being.
So the second actionable step here, keep track of all your contributions, money, and time, like a giving journal.
Why track it?
It helps you see what feels most effective or meaningful to you, lets you adjust your plan. It makes generosity a reliable, intentional part of your financial growth, not just a random impulse.
Tracking allows for that reflection, helps solidify giving as a conscious part of your financial strategy.
The key message here is that tzedakah changes money management. It's not just a solo pursuit for personal gain anymore. It becomes community-centered, building bridges to a more resilient, prosperous future for everyone.
Yeah, it encourages you to see generosity not as draining your resources, but as a valuable investment in like social capital and even your own fulfillment, a different way to think about wealth.
Okay, moving on to chapter 4, strategic stewardship planning, saving, and investing wisely.
Getting into the nuts and bolts now?
Pretty much. The main idea is straightforward. Taking deliberate, thoughtful steps in planning, saving, and investing is how you gain real control over your financial life.
It's about being proactive, right?
Yeah.
Intentional, not just letting finances happen to you.
Exactly. The book really hammers home treating money as a tool again. And step 1, track every single penny for a month. We mentioned this earlier, but it's foundational.
Even the small stuff.
Especially the small stuff.
Yeah.
The book mentions someone shocked to find they were spending over $300 a month on non-essentials. Just seeing that number allowed them to cut back and start saving.
That detailed tracking gives you that clear, sometimes startling picture of where the money's actually going. You find leaks you didn't know existed.
Then, building on that awareness, the book suggests the envelope system.
Ugh, the classic. Physical envelopes.
Could be physical cash envelopes or digital categories in an app. The point is setting firm spending limits for things like bills, groceries, fun money, savings.
Creates boundaries.
Right. There's an example of a small business owner who cut discretionary spending by 25% in 3 months just using a $500 envelope for those extra costs.
The envelope system provides that visual, tangible control. It can be really effective for imposing discipline.
Okay, now growing wealth. The book calls compound interest a secret weapon.
It really is powerful over time.
It gives an example. $200 invested monthly at a 6% annual return could become nearly $100,000 in 20 years.
Wow.
And there's a story of a single parent, 2 jobs, who built a solid safety net over a decade with consistent small investments. Gave them the confidence for a career change.
That power of compounding really highlights why it's so important to start investing early, even small amounts. Let time do the heavy lifting.
Of course, stewardship means dealing with debt too. The book says tackle it strategically. Often suggests the snowball method, pay off the smallest debt first for that psychological win.
Get some momentum going.
Exactly. Mention someone paying off $10K in credit card debt in 2 years that way.
The snowball method can be great for motivation. Those quick wins keep you going. Though mathematically, paying highest interest first saves more, but motivation is key.
True. Okay, next actionable step. Set specific, measurable goals. Not just save more, but save $1,000 in 6 months. Write them down. Track weekly progress.
Specific goals give you that clear target, that roadmap, much easier to stay focused.
And automation again. Strongly recommended. Set up automatic transfers for savings, investments on payday.
Takes the decision-making out of it.
Right. Removes the emotion. Makes saving happen inevitably. The book tells us someone amazed how much grew just by automating a small amount each month. They barely missed it.
Automating ensures saving and investing happen first, consistently, before the money gets spent elsewhere.
And finally, strategic stewardship requires regular review. Check your budget, expenses, investments at least quarterly, the book suggests. Catch small issues before they blow up.
That regular check-in lets you adjust. Life changes, income changes, goals change. Your plan needs to adapt too. Keep it relevant.
So the takeaway, financial stability isn't usually about some massive windfall. It's the small, consistent actions repeated over time, moving from anxiety to empowerment, confusion to clarity.
Ultimately, yeah, strategic stewardship is about taking ownership, making informed choices that lead to long-term security and well-being. It's about being in control.
All right, let's dive into Chapter 5, Networking and Mentorship Building Alliances for Success.
The people side of prosperity.
Exactly. The core idea is that intentionally connecting with the right people can really sculpt your career, your finances, your whole trajectory.
It's a great point. Success rarely happens in a vacuum. Our relationships, the support we get, it's often deeply connected to our professional and financial lives.
The book stresses intentional networking. First step, know your goals. What are you trying to achieve? That helps you target the right people for guidance.
Makes sense. Don't just collect contacts, connect with purpose.
There's a story of someone feeling stuck mid-career. They actively sought out a mentor at a local entrepreneur event. The result, a 35% salary boost and new opportunities within a year. Way more than a typical raise.
Wow, that really shows the potential leverage you can get from the right mentor, the right connection. It can accelerate things significantly.
So, first practical step, do your homework before reaching out. Find something specific about their work that resonates with your goals. Mention it. Shows you're serious.
That personalization makes a huge difference. It shows respect for their time and increases your chances of getting a response, building a real connection.
When you go to networking events, treat them like workshops. Have a concise pitch ready. Who you are, what you do, what you're looking for in guidance or connections.
Be prepared.
Right. The book mentions a casual chat at a conference leading to a $50,000 business partnership. You never know.
Having that clear, concise pitch helps you make the most of those often brief interactions. Communicate your value and needs effectively.
The book also wisely points out, hey, not every connection works out long term. And that's okay.
Manage expectations.
Yeah, every interaction is still a chance to learn something. Don't get discouraged.
Viewing networking as exploration and learning takes the pressure off needing every contact to be the one.
Second actionable step, keep track. Who did you meet? What did you talk about? What are the follow-up steps? Use a journal, an app, whatever.
Staying organized is key to nurturing those connections. Following through builds trust.
And mentorship doesn't have to be this super formal thing, right?
Not at all.
Sometimes just casual chats with experienced people spark amazing ideas or lead you to someone else who can help.
Informal mentorship can be incredibly valuable. Those diverse perspectives, unexpected insights, they can be game changers.
Third practical step, always follow up. A quick, personalized email after a conversation keeps the door open.
Shows professionalism, reinforces the connection. Essential for keeping communication flowing.
Another tip, diversify your network. Don't just stick to your industry. Go to workshops, seminars, and other fields.
Get outside your bubble.
Totally. The book tells of meeting a retired exec at a cooking class whose advice saved their company thousands.
See? Innovative ideas often come from those cross-disciplinary interactions. Different perspectives unlock things.
Fourth action step, be proactive. Set aside time each week for outreach. And importantly, offer value first. Build reciprocity before asking for favors.
Give before you get. Building relationships on mutual value makes them stronger, more sustainable.
And finally, track the benefits. Did networking lead to interviews? Great advice, new ideas. Seeing the tangible results keeps you motivated.
Quantifying the outcomes provides that clear proof of value, encourages you to keep investing time and effort in your network.
So the key message, your network is a living asset, needs ongoing care. Be authentic, be purposeful. Every genuine chat could be a turning point.
Yeah, this chapter really drives home that building strong relationships isn't just nice to have, it's a strategic investment in your future success. Absolutely essential.
Okay, let's get into chapter 6. Balancing work and wisdom ethics, hard work, and continuous learning.
Finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. The core idea is that real, sustainable success needs a balance. Hard work, yes, but paired with good judgment, strong ethics, and always learning.
It's crucial to understand it's not just about grinding out more hours, right? It's a more holistic, thoughtful approach that truly lasts.
The book directly challenges that myth. More hours equals more success. It highlights the real risk of burnout.
Which is so prevalent today.
For sure. It emphasizes aligning your hard work with your core values. That's what creates a life that's both successful and fulfilling.
That shifts the focus beyond just productivity numbers to the deeper meaning and purpose in our work and life.
First practical step. Define your non-negotiables. Family time, health, hobbies, whatever is crucial for you. And protect that time like it's a vital meeting.
Treat it with the same importance.
Yeah. The book mentions someone who blocked out 60 minutes daily for personal development, 60 for exercise. Said it brought clarity and energy to everything else.
Setting those boundaries and prioritizing well-being isn't selfish. It's essential for long-term effectiveness and, frankly, sanity.
Second step. Set clear boundaries at work. Communicate your commitment to doing great work, but also that you value a balanced life.
Be explicit about it.
Seems so. There's a story where someone declined extra work to protect their existing commitments and personal time. And it actually increased their team's respect for work-life balance.
Clearly communicating boundaries manages expectations and stops work from constantly creeping into personal time, prevents burnout.
The book also suggests literally blocking off you time on your calendar. Schedule it in.
Makes it real, makes it harder to skip, underscores its importance.
It also points to studies showing working smarter with breaks. Clear separation can boost productivity by up to 20%.
Right. Effectiveness isn't just raw hours, it's focus, energy management, quality over sheer quantity.
Now, ethics. The book is clear. Real, lasting success is built on ethical choices, on trust, not short-term wins that compromise your integrity.
Your reputation, the trust people have in you, those are invaluable assets built over time through ethical behavior.
So the third practical step for ethics. When faced with a maybe questionable opportunity, pause, ask, does this align with my values? Will I be proud of this in 5 years?
Like an ethical gut check.
Exactly. The book shares an example of walking away from a tempting but shady deal to avoid future regret.
That kind of reflection acts as a moral compass. Helps you navigate tricky situations and avoid long-term damage.
And finally, continuous learning. The book calls it a secret weapon in our fast-changing world.
Absolutely essential today. Standing still means falling behind. Lifelong learning is key to staying relevant, adaptable.
So the fourth action step, actively invest in yourself. Courses, books, mentors, upgrade your skills. The book mentions someone learning digital marketing basics, leading to a 15% boost in their business outreach.
Investing in your skills and knowledge doesn't just improve what you can do now, it opens doors for the future, creates options.
The key message from this chapter, finding that balance between hard work and wisdom, that's what lets you seize opportunities and build a truly successful, sustainable life. Set boundaries, uphold ethics, keep learning.
It's a holistic view, isn't it? Recognizing how work, well-being, ethics, and learning are all interconnected pieces of a successful and meaningful life.
Okay, let's tackle chapter 7, resilience and adaptability. Overcoming financial setbacks.
Dealing with the tough times, because they happen.
They really do. And the core idea here is that setbacks aren't failures. They're actually moments to forge real strength, build a sturdier future.
It's such an important mindset shift, seeing challenges not as dead ends, but as, well, opportunities to learn and grow stronger, detours maybe.
The book gets real about that feeling of drowning, Unexpected bills, job loss, it can feel overwhelming.
Panic can set in easily.
Right, so the first practical step, brutal honesty about expenses. Immediately cut non-essentials. It's presented as a lifeline.
Triage mode.
Exactly. We hear about David again. Lost his job. He slashed spending by 20%, built a $1,200 emergency fund in just 3 months. That became his springboard to a new, better career.
David's story really shows the power of swift, decisive action, focusing on what you can control immediately you're spending to regain some footing.
The book also stresses setting clear, realistic financial boundaries before a crisis hits to stop minor bumps from derailing everything.
Proactive boundary setting acts like a financial shock absorber, helps contain the damage when things go wrong.
Second action step, create a contingency plan. Aim for at least 3 months living expenses saved up, break it down into smaller goals, maybe add a side hustle to get there faster.
That emergency fund provides such a crucial sense of security, reduces the stress and panic when unexpected things happen, gives you breathing room.
It's also vital, the book says, to learn from setbacks. Ask yourself, what led to this? Are there patterns? Maybe overspending in certain areas.
That reflection turns a negative event into a valuable lesson, helps you avoid repeating mistakes.
Third practical step, commit to a budget. Use an app, a spreadsheet, whatever. Track spending meticulously to prevent future slips.
Get clarity.
Exactly. The book highlights how having that clear picture reduces anxiety. You know where the money's going.
Consistent budgeting gives you that overview, empowers you to make informed, proactive decisions going forward.
Debt management comes up again too. Tackle it head on. Focus on high interest debt first. Make extra payments when possible.
Attack the most expensive debt.
Yeah. There's an example of clearing a $10 debt, 5% interest, in just over a year by paying an extra $100 monthly. And it suggests trying to negotiate with creditors too.
Aggressively paying down high-interest debt frees up cash flow faster and saves a lot in the long run. Smart move.
And resilience here isn't just about gritting your teeth. It's about adapting, learning, using setbacks as lessons. Like an unexpected car repair becomes the trigger to finally start that dedicated unexpected expenses fund.
Seeing setbacks as learning opportunities fosters that proactive, empowered approach. You're not just reacting, you're improving your system.
The book also offers a comforting reminder. You're not alone. Many people have weathered financial storms and come out stronger.
Hearing those stories, knowing others have navigated similar challenges, can be incredibly encouraging when you're in the thick of it.
So the fourth actionable step is to really internalize this. Every decision to track spending, set a savings goal, cut a cost, is a step toward turning adversity into advantage.
Taking those concrete actions, however small, builds that sense of control, empowers you to navigate the challenge effectively.
The key takeaway: developing habits of financial control and planning doesn't just help you survive setbacks. It allows you to thrive despite them. Pause, assess, act, create a plan.
Yeah, resilience is about building those mental and practical tools to not just weather the storms, but to emerge stronger, wiser, and better prepared for whatever comes next.
Okay, finally, let's look at Chapter 8, Legacy and Future Prosperity, Building Wealth for Generations.
Thinking long-term now, beyond just our own lifetimes.
Right. The core idea is that preserving wealth across generations needs a mix of things. Financial literacy in the family, ethical investing, and careful family planning.
It's a significant shift in perspective, isn't it? From just accumulating wealth for yourself to ensuring its sustainable transfer to the next generation and the one after that.
The book mentions that old saying, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. Wealth rarely survives.
Right. The idea that the first generation makes it, the second spends it, the third loses it.
Exactly. But it contrasts that with families who have preserved wealth for centuries. It mentions the Tisch family, managing billions across generations through diverse interests.
So it is possible, but it requires intentional strategies, shared values guiding decisions across time, not just luck.
First key principle, financial education within the family. Talking about budgeting, saving, investing, a normal thing. Use real-life examples. Foster openness.
That early, ongoing financial education gives future generations the tools they need to manage wealth responsibly. Critical life skills.
Second principle, ethical investing. Align your investments with your values. Look at SRI or ESG factors. Pursue profit and purpose. Contribute positively.
This ensures wealth building aligns with your moral compass, contributes to a better world, not just bigger numbers, reflects your values.
Third, estate planning. Carefully create clear wills, trusts, with expert help. Make sure your wishes are clear, assets transfer smoothly, promote family harmony.
Comprehensive estate planning is absolutely crucial. It avoids disputes, ensures your legacy is passed on according to your values, not just randomly.
Fourth principle, open communication. Hold regular family meetings. Discuss financial goals, values, expectations transparently. Get everyone aligned.
That open, honest communication builds trust, prevents misunderstandings, manages expectations, avoids potential conflicts later.
And fifth, Invest in education generally, not just finance, but lifelong learning, personal development for everyone in the family. Enhances capabilities, collective financial smarts.
Investing in the family's human capital ensures future generations are adaptable, skilled, ready to thrive, and continue building on the foundation.
So the key takeaway from this last chapter, building generational wealth isn't about quick flips. It's consistent, intentional actions rooted in values and education, creating a legacy that benefits family and community.
Yeah, it's a comprehensive approach, integrating financial prudence with strong ethics, family values, and shared financial literacy. It's about stewardship across time.
So as we wrap up our discussion today, wow, we've covered a lot. From building that strong foundation based on values,
To cultivating that positive wealth mindset,
understanding the power of generosity, the need for strategic planning,
the value of networking and mentors, balancing work and wisdom.
developing resilience for setbacks, and finally, building wealth for generations. Quite a journey.
It really is. And it's important to remember these principles often work best together, holistically.
Definitely. So our encouragement to you listening is this. Pick just one or two actionable steps we talked about,
Yeah.
whichever ones really resonated, and just start.
Don't try to do everything at once.
No way. Lasting change comes from consistent effort, even small steps.
And be patient with yourself. This stuff takes time, commitment, perseverance. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Well said.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. What kind of financial legacy do you want to create for yourself, for your family? And how can some of these principles we discussed today help move you closer to that vision? Because remember, wealth isn't just about the money.
It's also about the values you live by and the impact you have, hopefully across generations.